Hey, good morning. If you haven't had a chance to like and subscribe, please do so. I'm Grady on the chart. Today is May the 6th, 2025, and we're trading in Q. Let's get right into it. All right, guys. Yeah, go ahead. Good morning. If you haven't had a chance to like and subscribe, perfect. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for us. And we appreciate the support for the channel and hope you guys have had some fortune in the market. Let's go ahead and get started. I should have brought a bottle of water. Actually, let's go ahead and take a quick look at what do we have in the news today. Nothing on the um let's see, that's not right. Okay, yeah. So we have no news today, right? There's no news for today. I want to confirm this because I'm looking at the chart and I see that for Wednesday we have the Fed interest rate. Tomorrow's Fed interest rate. Today we don't have any news. We have the balance of trade in Canada and the IVPMI for Canada today. Coming out this morning. And then we'll have high impact news for the U.S. coming out on Wednesday, May the 7th. Okay, let's take a hop into our charts and see what we have going on. Yeah, actually, I was doing some pre-market trading. I noticed that we had early on at 7 a.m. we had a move up, a 15-minute candle, and once we got to this level, we hit the order block, and from that point, we had a bit of a breakaway gap. Um, Institutional order flow entry drill. Then we broke down. Price ran right back up. We hit an inversion fair value gap. Price pops up. We hit a breaker. Then we drop down. Return to the inversion gap. Then we began to sell off. And then just prior to me getting online, we came back into that inversion gap, touched the consequent encroachment of that level, and then we sold out. And then we took the lows out below this level. Um, this move down began at This move down began last night or so, around midnight, prior to midnight, actually. I believe it actually occurred prior to midnight, but the move down began just as the Asian session opened yesterday. There was a gap down. We rose into this order block. Price never broke up above this gap. I'm sorry, never broke above this up close candle above the order block. It looks like we stayed below the mean threshold. Um, then we traded right into this level, and I believe this level or this line is the midnight opening price for Monday. And then once we tapped off that level, off that midnight opening price, we began to sell off through the Asian session here, through the Asian session, and then also through London. And so we've opened the day here, and there we go. The market's going to open in about 2 minutes. Excuse me. There's a lot to be said about a person who can trade and be entertaining. It's a crazy skill set to have to be able to be profitable and entertaining. Because I think there are a lot of people who can do one or the other. Hmm. There are a lot of people who can enter the market. There are a lot of people who can enter the market, who can look at the charts, who can trade pretty well, who can manage a trade, who can be profitable, who can have great entries. Then when you watch them or you look at them, it's like, what is this? Mm. Whoa, I needed that. A little dehydrated. Mm. I hate to be a water commercial, but make sure you drink your water. All right, so I had this hourly candle marked out in the pre-market. As we know, this green area is my London session. So we have our London session low. We are um far away from the Asian session low. The Asian session low is in the London premium. So as the London session opened, we actually ran into the discount of the Asian session, and then we broke down, and we broke down right around 3 a.m. And at 3 a.m., we began this move down through the London session. So the market opens here, and I'm not really eager to go against the grain. Normally, if I saw the market drop down like this, I would think, oh, I know what's going to happen, right? And then I would just come over here, I'll hit regular trading, and then I would go to the 1 minute chart. And I really wanted to kind of save all of this, but I think most of this stuff is in the way right now. We'll delete that. And I would say to myself, man, look at this. All right, so we gapped down overnight. Did we retrace this gap, right? Let's see if we can get this involved. Boom. Working off screen just a little bit. I am looking for yesterday's close. I believe yesterday's close is roughly here. And then today's opening price is roughly here. When was the last time we've had a gap retracement, 50% gap retracement? Huh? That's the question. When was the last time we saw a gap closure where the opening rank, where the gap from the prior close to the prior opening was filled? Doodle bop yap beat up bop bop ba zap beat up bang. Okay, well, that's a nice little push to the upside. There's the opening price. It rolled over, traded down below the opening price, popped up on a lower time frame. That's what it's offering us. I don't think I need this like this. I think once I have this marked out, that should be fine. Then I'll go ahead and go back to the regular electronic trading hours on the 15-second chart. And what I'm looking for is a gap, just a gap for us to trade. There wasn't much down here, right? Because we just kept taking lows and taking lows and taking lows. So here is the first the 25% retracement of the gap. Do we wait for the 50% retracement, right? To see if we can get short at the 50% level? Or do we think it'll be or do we think it'll be a full gap retracement? If it's a full gap retracement, if it's a full gap retracement, then that would be different. That'd be something different to see. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Yep. Yep. All right. 5 minute chart has this imbalance right here. I'd like to see how we're acting here, how we're behaving. It's still early in the day. It's still early in the day. And yes, I would love to see this gap traded to and closed. That would be just a delightful. So that's something that's normal, right? Something that we've seen a lot of, that we've seen before. That would be very nice to see that, oh no, we're just gonna do normal stuff. Okay, does anybody see anything interesting about what we're looking at right here? Anything interesting here? Long leg up, balanced price range. I'm just looking at how the price respected that length up and this length down, touched it, and then we moved it higher. Mm. 12 seconds left in the first 5 minute candle. So I thought that we were trading to the 50% level to have an extended move to the downside. Would I wait for that, or would I try to see if I could get a trade off of this opening range? This level where we just dropped back into, thought about getting long there at the at right off the very open. Thought about getting long right there because it's something I just said to myself, oh yeah, we're gonna definitely run to that 50% level. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's how many what is that? That's 80 points, right? Roughly almost 350 ticks. Not a bad move. Not a bad move it would be, but I'm thinking that I might exhaust myself in the process of watching and monitoring. Um, what if I'm looking to my left because I'm looking at the higher time frame, and I'm thinking and measuring and watching for what? For the idea that instead of us dropping in and continuing lower, there's a possibility that we would settle into a bullish order block to the left, roughly around Thursday, with the price, the candle being 19,799. Then the 19,799 on Thursdays, an Asian session, we drop right into that level. So there's one, two, three down consecutive down close candles just below a gap, just below a gap over there. And I'm thinking, yeah, that could possibly serve to send us higher. Nope, that won't work. And so instead of thinking of this level as, excuse me, instead of thinking of this level, I'll just measure the gap. And so now what I'll go do now is I'm going to pull this down and pull this back, excuse me, and set a measurement on this. I don't know why. It's not necessarily the lowest down close candle in the range, but we put a couple of wicks below the mean threshold of that level, and then we've turned and popped. And I'm watching how price is kind of feathering its way to the upside. And because of that, that does really make me think that we just dropped into the order block, and there's a possibility that this level is will just send us higher. Uh, but but hands off, hands off, hands off. And I say this every day. And I say this every day. I say this every day, right? I say this every day, all right? FOMO and blah 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 blah. Oh, but I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't make any difference if you know all of the terminologies for trading psychology. If when it comes time to put it in practice, you have extreme difficulty doing that. And yeah, and I know there is a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure for anybody who wants to make money in these markets. There's the one thing that you want to do, and you want to make money. And when you put on a trade, and that trade says you're not making money, you're losing money, you there's a sense of urgency and pressure, man, that pops. But look, the thing is all of that pressure that we put on ourselves to perform the task, a lot of that pressure is the reason that we can't do it. A lot of that pressure is the reason that we're having issues. Okay, maybe it's just a 25% retracement. No, I think we just hit a bullish order block. I don't think we're going to drop down into that gap. Not today or tomorrow. Boom, we pop. Okay, 9:39 a.m. Is there any confluence here? Is there any confluence that I need to see? I'm gonna do this. Okay, so the uh 50% level of the gap that was created between the close of yesterday and today's opening, the new day opening gap, um, is just above the consequent encroachment of London session. Okay. So just above the consequent encroachment of the London session. So we're going to trade into the premium of London if, well, we might trade to the premium of London if we get up here. This is a 25% retracement of the new day opening gap. As soon as we hit that 25% level, we see we curled over just right there. Just right there, we curled over. In the 15-second chart, we're just watching these down close candles. We're just watching and seeing how these candles interact with each other. What do we see on the ES? It's a very, very important thing to ask. Very important question to ask. Hmm. Interesting. Tapped, tapped, tapped. Okay. Much in the 15-second chart. As the price rolled over and dropped back in, you see how we closed inside of this sort of a SIBI, and then we turned over and dropped back down. I just wanted to see whether or not we exited, right? If we don't exit this SIBI, then it's almost as if we traded up into the SIBI and then got caught in it, right? And instead of us rolling over and creating more bearish structure, we're kind of s- just like stuck in it, right? Now we've moved higher and we've turned over and we dropped the wick to the downside. Still sort of in the SIBI. There we go. Interesting. Interesting way to do that. All of this price action back and forth is happening right at that 25% level. Not accidental. Okay? That's not accidental. Happening right at the 25% level at that gap. It's not accidental. We just popped up off of a down close candle on the 15-minute to the far left. Mm. On the 1-minute chart, there are wicks everywhere. Wicks, 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 wicks. Okay? Pump. Look at all these wicks. Up, 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 up. Consolidation inside of this SIBI. I'm using a different box today. We consolidated inside this SIBI. Opened and went higher. Dropped and closed. Closed at the low. Closed in the premium. Closed at the low. Closed below the low. Closed above the high. Closed above the premium. Went to the upside. Take out the high. Then we drop back in. That's a lower time frame. So I'm gonna see a lot of extra information. That's gonna be a lot more for me to attempt to interpret. On the lower time frame, which is the on the higher time frame, which is the 1 minute, then all I see is a move down, a move up, and then a move down. So basically down and then down. Hmm. This wick takes out 1, 2, 3, 4 lows, and then we turn over. 14 seconds. The time is 9:45 a.m. Boom. Oh, boy. Yesterday tore me up with the back and forth price action in the higher time frame. I didn't even think about not getting involved. Oh, oh. Excuse me. 9:46 a.m. The last touch here was of the consequent encroachment of the SIBI. Then we dropped right back in. Boom. Consequent encroachment. I'm not mistaken, but I believe I see our first presented. I hope I'm not mistaken, but I believe we see our first presented here. Hmm. I'm going to grab this gap here to here. And I'd like to extend this forward into the day. Wrong one. Wrong. Wrong one. Um, Inversion. No, I see. No, inversion. I just wanted that color so I can see the differences. All right. So this small imbalance, this SIBI, is on the 5 minute chart. We just dropped down into a gap created just after the opening on the 5 minute chart. It's hard to see, but it's right there between the low of this candle and this candle. Pull that back. I've marked out the pre-market level. And I'm looking at this level. Excuse me. Mm, mm, mm. 9:48 a.m. Macro begins shortly. Question. Question. Are we treating this wick as a gap? Because if so, candle inside of the opening. Candle, candle. All three of these candles are inside the opening on regular trading hours. Here, body, wick only, and body. 25% retracement of the gap. Interesting. Better than nothing. That's all I'm glad about that, but it's better than nothing. It's so close to what I would normally expect in price action. I'm happy to see it. Excuse me, 9:50 a.m. Little scandal. Yep. Straight up to it. Bop. Quarter block. Stop. 9:51. Excuse me. Here we are. Macro, May. Macro, May. Okay, we're approaching a previous low. We are approaching a previous low, and that previous low is represented by the bottom of this box. Below that is a previous low. Below that, we know there's liquidity. To the left of this low is a gap that extends down to 19609 or so. If we don't penetrate this low, this is going to represent a higher time frame relative equal low. When I was thinking about this the other day, it's like oftentimes we rarely see or think that we rarely see relative equals lows form where these two prices are just as bad, right, extremely close proximity. 2 minutes and 16 seconds left in 5 minute candle. 9:52. Okay. Boom bap pow. What do we see on the ES? On the ES, we just see solid down close candles, solidly pressing down. There are no up close candles on the ES at all. I'm not quite sure how these two things are even related. On the 1 minute chart for either the Nasdaq. Oh yeah, I still could see. There we see. Just down, 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 down. 9:55. 23 seconds left in the 5 minute candle. Yep, it's a little crazy here. It's a little bit crazy. Everything, so many things is going on. Music is busting and banging. Y'all see my Ferrari in the background. All right, so we took that low to the left, that's represented by this dotted line. And what should I expect? What should I not expect? I know that it's 9:55 a.m. and I know that we just took this low. Should I expect a lower and a lower low, higher and a higher low, right? What should I expect here? That's the question. That is the question. And I saw something the other day, and I wish I could articulate it. It was a certain arrangement of the candles, and I said, "Oh, look at that." Ran the low at 9:55. New 5-minute candles open, turned over, and then we kind of moved to the upside just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. Hmm. Yep. 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 Mm. 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 Do 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 do. What does this line represent? You do you do 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 ding 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 do 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 mm, do 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 mm, 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 mm. So it's 10 a.m. It's 10 a.m. And if you told me that this is the silver bullet, I wouldn't even know what to tell you. I wouldn't know what to tell you. Up, down, turn over, drop down. This is the silver bullet. Are you sure? Mm, my friend, my friend. Is this the silver bullet or not, my friend? Is this the silver bullet or not, my friend? What is this? Come on now. Is this CCV bully or no? Eh? No, me or no. Is it still a bully now? No. Oh my God. Blim, 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 blim. Pop, ding, ding, pop, ding, pop, like, pop, pop, ding, 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 ding. Pop, ding, pop, pop. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, yeah. It's 10 a.m. Ah, 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 bling, 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 bling. Zoobity doobity doom boom boom boom. Being a little tiny little imbalance right here. Watch this. Tiny little imbalance right here. Watch this. Tiny little imbalance. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you. Nope, it didn't do it. And I was looking for it almost on every time frame. I was expecting a small little trade right into this tiny little gap right here. I was expecting that. It turned over and then it wicked and then popped up. Boom. It retraded to this sort of imbalance between these two price levels. But once it got there, then it only gave me one wick offering and then we moved higher. I was expecting other things to happen at this point. Um, high, low, higher high, market structure shift. What are you thinking? You thinking it's a market structure shift? I'm just looking at the time. I'm looking at the time of day and I'm looking at what I'm seeing happen and occur here. Hourly exchange. Okay. Hey, we've had the hourly exchange. Let's pull this all the way down. Let's pull this across. Let's close of the current hour, the previous hour. I think that's a strange sort of placement, right? Strange placement. This one was made first. This one's made second. But the range between the close of the prior candle and the low puts this at 50% of that low. I think that's crazy. What does it offer us though? Does it offer us an opportunity to get long? Is that what that is that offering us an opportunity to get long? Or because we just opened this new hour, we just ran up to this particular point, we took out this high into this gap, traded into these cibbies, wick here, hollow right there, bang, turnover, ziply, boppity bop bop. Maybe scoop up lap wash. Okay. Okay. Don't really want to guess at this. I hate this part. I hate this part. I hate this part. I hate this part. I mean, because we're dangling over a gap. And my thought process is, oh no, we're just gonna drop down and we're gonna take out that previous low, and we aren't going any further. We're just gonna take out that previous low, and then we're gonna grow higher, go higher. The only other thing that I could think is was right stop loss in here somewhere. I mean, an entry in here somewhere. Something that looks along the line of buy order. Look at the price on the stop loss. $500 on the stop loss. TP up there. Okay, well that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. But my problem is that I'm thinking my entry would need to be way down here because I'm trying to keep that stop loss from being more than $200 or $300, and I can't seem to do that in the current range scenario. So I'm not gonna get involved with that. I'm gonna take a look at the 5 minute chart to see if there's anything there that would make a lot more sense, right? Is there anything here that makes a lot more sense? Even if I pull all this stuff back. So I said, this is what? Consequent encroachment of that, we trade right to it, got turned over, touched it. But again, it still leaves me extremely exposed to the downside with any type of retracement to a prior bullish order block, and then we could just drop right down into that prior bullish order block. Oh, excuse me. And there we have it, right? There's the rub. There it is, the rub. So this is that first presented imbalance. I don't want to call it the first presented fair value gap because it was just a little different than we normally expect. And I wasn't even properly able to identify where its limitations and extremities were. You understand what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is that there's the body and there's this wick. Here's this body, and then here's this. Boom, lock it. It's locked. If this was the first presented fair value gap, then this would be the spot where I'd want to get short as we return to it. Or is this the spot where I'm saying, oh wow, we finally returned to that first presented gap. Let's do something different. I'm eliminating this trade because I'm getting hit with the kung fu this morning. We're getting hit with the kung fu. For some people, they're like, no, Grady, look, no, open your eyes, buddy. It's straightforward. It's straightforward. Look, buddy, look. It's straightforward. Straightforward what? This long move up, long move down, took out the low below this level. We move back in, hit the mini important, this consequent encroachment of this level, then we drop right back in. What are you showing me? What are we saying? What are we doing? What is what? Who was there? Who went there? Why did they go? On the higher time frame, we're at the low of the 15-minute up close candle. We are intersecting at the low. This level is the low of that 15-minute candle. That's the opening price of the day. We just returned to the opening price of the day. Is this all wick or is this all wick? Right? One of these is going to be the wick of the day. You decide on. I'm Grady on the charts. So the price opens for the regular trading day. Then we move up. We come all the way down low, opening price. We tap in and we do that. Bam. Right at a gap. On the order block. There's some range to the upside because we were moving down all day long. All night long, rather. This is still open. Breakaway gap. Okay. Is that a breakaway gap? Then that would mean that this was a breaker. We dropped down into the breaker and then we moved up. These two overlapping wicks, we drop down and hit this candle. Hmm. It takes a while to revisit a breaker. Am I mistaken? It takes a while to revisit a breaker. 8 seconds. Okay. Do we think we're going to have a narrow range day or a long range day? 46 seconds. Mm. I didn't like this level. It took me too long to notice that this was a low. This is a high with a low and a lower low, making that a breaker. And it took me too long because it's a breaker. We weren't going to come back down here. Then we popped up and we had these down close candles. Then we pushed just a little bit higher. Now, is this a long range breaker? I'm not quite sure how would I determine whether or not a breaker would give me a certain range, but I know that we did treat it as a breaker. And I think that's the important part to remember about this whole thing, is that we treated it as a breaker. This is not much to get me excited. Now watch. Look at this. Look at this. Now look at this. What are we doing back here right now? What are we doing back here? And the idea that these two are both being activated, not coincidence. This was just a wick. We traded to the consequent encroachment of the gap where that wick was sitting. Closed down lower. Boom. What did we tap into? Bam. Oh pop, paja bop. Then we pops right up into this imbalance. And I have it labeled as FVG, but I'm not sure if it's FVG. It could be anything. Oh, you know what I should do? For fun, I should run a fib from this high to this low. Then I should jump over here and I should hit OTE. And I should measure and see how far up this range that we just came with this push. That's a 70% retracement from this low to this high. Now, what would you do in my situation? Would you take the short or would you let it ride? Well, let me show you what actually happened here, Skeeter. On the 5 minute chart, we went up above this high. Then we went all the way down below that low. Now we're back here. There's an 87% retracement of the entire range. You have 34 seconds. Yum, 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 bop, yum, bop, bop, yum, 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 bop. Mm, mm, mm. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. It's a hard one. Mm-hmm. There you go. There you go. Can't even explain to you what logic. I can't even explain what logic I'm using right now. There's so many different things going on in my mind that I am activating and canceling so quickly that it's hard for me to even try to interpret between all of them. I see on the 15-second chart that we're beginning to fail here, right? It's lower, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high. We went into this gap, and then we were actually moving out and away from it. And there's something else that I'm thinking, but I can't quite articulate what it is that I'm thinking. And it's is that's just very difficult for me. And I think what it is happening in three, two, one. Come on, keep pushing, baby. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. I think that's what I was. See, that's ooh, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. And it's just that next 5 minute candle is such a ornery, such an ornery cuss. If I can use such harsh language here with you guys, such an ornery cuss. That's the consequent encroachment. Yeah. Why are you? What's happening here? What's happening? What was happening? What was happening? What was happening? Why was that? Why was that like that? What was going on? I did something crazy. Not sure what I did or how I ended up doing it like that. Mm. I traded against the breaker, didn't I? I saw the breaker and then I still traded against it. Is that a breakaway gap? Mm. It's just that we're still in this range, and that's the thing that has me really just paying attention to this is that we're still in this range. Still haven't really broken out of this. There's a lot of stuff on my screen. I am watching this 87% retracement. Time 53, 53, 53. None of the gaps, none of these gaps that we're creating to the upside are being traded to. They're all wide open. They're all wide open, and that's why I'm saying, oh, I'm going short at least. Why? Because at least at the upside, I had a spot to put my stop loss. I can't even put a stop loss anywhere out here in this range. It just doesn't. It's just not gonna. Not, and not. Ran up here, took the high. Tiny, tiny little imbalance right in here. I don't know if you can see it. There's a tiny little gap right there. There's the high of it. And there's the low of it. Only thing I can do is like watch something like this because what I just saw, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, blah 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 blah. Blah. It's just there's nothing, there's no over there, there's no trading back into this. There's no trading back. I'm looking for reasonable and acceptable entry models. However, there's no trading back to my levels. That was weird. There's no trading back to my level. Okay. We're nearing the what do you call that? That 50% retracement of the new day opening gap. And there's nothing, nothing. It's moving so fast. It's not retracing to the gaps that it's creating. It's just going, right? It's just going to that level. And if I get in at a level down here like this is really exactly what I love to see if I'm on board here. If I'm on board here, yeah, this is exactly what I want to see. I want to see us stretch out and keep going. I don't want to see us pull back, come back. I want to look to the left. I want to say, whoa, what is that going on outside? And then I want to look back and say, oh my God, we're nowhere near where my entry was. We're taking off. Mm. Ah, mm, 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 mm. Do-do, mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. 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 Chill. Yeah. I'm looking for 19,960. We think we're gonna be there at 10:30. And I have no problems with this. The only problem that I have is two things. First thing is that we hit the order block and then we traded into that imbalance just below that low, right at the very bottom here down at the screen. All of this, we just took out the low to the left, right? So it's here, all of that. We took that out. And then we traded to this sort of a order block or whatever to the left. That's one concern because have you ever seen on the lower time frame when we tap an order block and the rejection is just it's just this sort of a spring loaded, what's the word I'm looking for? Low resistance, a spring loaded impulse in the opposite direction. I'm just looking at this and I'm saying, yeah, that would be what I would describe as a spring-loaded impulse to the opposite direction. Now we're coming in close proximity to the 50% retrace as of a 50% 50% retracement of the new day opening gap. We got very close to it and then we pulled back just a little bit. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. Yeah. But you see, I have midnight marked out. Yesterday's close. Let's see. This is the Asian session low at 19,937. This is London session consequent encroachment. What's the mean threshold? Because it's a It's represented as a PD array or like an order block. Um, I'm not sure. I'll call it mean threshold. The mean threshold on the session. We tapped it, pulled back just a little bit, and the Asian session low again is 19,937. It's Asian session low. Three minutes left in the 15-minute candle. I feel like my something happened with that last entry that really made me feel upset. Something upset me about that last little entry situation we had. I'm not sure exactly how I want to put that or how I want to verbalize it. I didn't like it. It was sloppy to say one thing. It was very sloppy. Okay, now here we are. Here we are. High resistance at London sessions consequent encroachment. 2 minutes and 51 seconds left in the 15-minute candle. What do we think? 2 minutes. 2 minutes left in the 15. Also, 2 minutes left in the 5. They're in sync. They're gonna say the 15-minute candle and the 5-minute candle are gonna end at the same time. Give that a minute 55. How did you feel when you first heard the down close candle support price? And then you looked at the chart and you saw up close candles moving above down close candles. Then the wick dropped down. And when they got to a down close candle, it didn't go below it or past it. After that point, it immediately moved and went back up. How did that make you feel the first time you saw that? Were you like, oh my God, I have the answer. I have the answer to all trading. Is that how you felt? Okay. It's almost like that for me. When I see this, we trade to this up close candle, then we drop down like this. The thing that really gets me is this part. When we glaze right past it, and it just does something to my mind. Like, wait a minute, why is it there then? Why is it in? It's right there. Like, why is it there? Eh, Why is it there? Why did you do that? Like, why? Why? You gave me this simple here. Oh, up close candles. Resist movement up. Reject price and down close candle support price. And then you tell me 2 seconds left in the 15-minute candle. We have a new 15-minute candle, and we have a new 5. This red line represents the 50% retracement of the new day opening gap. I'm not quite sure how to address it. Am I looking for a pure touch? Am I looking for a bypass? If it does go past it, how much past it? All right. Maybe a consolidation range along that level. If we go beyond it and we retrace back to it, should I expect to see us continue forward? Mm. New 15-minute candles just opened here. I would love to see. I would love to see a 5-minute candle with a nice, beautiful wick all the way here. That would make me feel like we've really kind of confirmed, yep, this is it. We're done with this. We're gonna put this wick out there like like a person casting a line on like a person fly fishing. And then you get there and you're just like, "Whoosh," and then just whizzes all the way out there. And then you start drilling it back in and start drilling it back in. That's what I would like to see. That way I would feel very confident putting my stop loss because I would say, oh yeah, we've already cast the line now. We don't have to we don't have to worry about making entries. Like, because what I would normally have done is I would normally have tried to enter here and place my entry here. But these highs are extremely flat, right? They're extremely flat. And I would have said, yeah, let me get in here and put my stop loss. Let me put my entry here, put my stop loss right above these highs, right there. I know they're relatively equal, but then I'm also saying to myself, we haven't even touched that 50%. We haven't even touched that 50% level. We're very close to it, but we never actually touched it. We never put any feeler to the opposite side of that range. But Grady, are you sure that we're going to stop there and go lower? I'm not sure we're going to stop there and go lower. I'm saying that I'm looking for confirmation that we might, right? I'm looking for that type of confirmation. Now, we have two solid up close candles that have returned to the mean threshold of London session, right? Consequent encroachment right at the 50% level. Just above it is the London session low. I mean, the Asian session low. Is it possible that we want to touch the Asian session low before we go? Huh? Do we want to touch the Asian session low before we go? That's the question. Do we want to touch the Asian session low before we go? It is just on the other side of this 50% retracement, and it is roughly around this area right here, around that 1933 to 1940 level. There is a small imbalance. There's a SIBI just above London Session Low, untraded too. The SIBI just sitting right there. Uh, 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 And then above that, there's a small imbalance at the very high of that SIBI, sitting at around 19,945. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Do we think we're going to get more than this? Are we going to press higher? Or are we just looking for that 50% retracement? Oh, my guts are just like saying, buddy, boy, what do you think? I'm saying guts, I don't know because I don't want to front run the trade. Oh, because that looks beautiful. Oh, that looks beautiful. That looks beautiful. That looks beautiful. That looks beautiful. Oh. Up, 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 up. up, up, right? Because it's just this new 5 minute candle. Ooh, okay, okay. Now we have this wick. Are we going to respect the wick? Or are we going to violate the wick of the 5 minute candle? That's 50%. Very narrow stop loss. 50% of that wick on the 5 minute candle just to see what could what it could uh, uh, let's see ooh, let's see what it could offer us. You know, it may just drop down, give us 200. It might just drop down, give us 200. I'm reducing my stop loss to the high of this candle just to take the heat off of it. It could run us out. There's 270. There's 280. Oh man, that's a decent move. That's decent. That's very decent of you. That's very decent of you. That's very decent. Now that we're in the 300s, I'm going to move to break even. And I just want to see whether or not it gives us um, continuation throughout this 5 minute candle. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. I have moved down to just a little bit beyond break even now because it doesn't have to. It could just take off. It could just return on us aggressively, stop us out. Because we dropped down to this little down closed little ditty here. All of a sudden, I got real country on 'em. I don't think we're done. I don't think we're done coming back up here. I think if I see 300, I need to take this because I don't think we're done. I don't think we're done up here. And I said that several times. I think I'm going to go to 15-second chart just to see something on the lower time frame because I didn't really think I don't really think we're done up here, right? See this gap. This is kind of untraded too. If that's breakaway, that's fine. Then we kind of trade it into this sort of imbalance right here. If if we shut it down in here, that'd be fine too. But we didn't, did we? See what I'm saying? I didn't think we were and we weren't. I didn't think we were and we were not. Yep. I didn't think we were and we were not. Right up there. Powwow. And that's what that was. Very good trade. Could have taken like 400 off at one point or another. Let's see. A minute 28 left in this 5 minute candle. What is the 1 minute? What is the ES offering us that we're not seeing here on the Nasdaq? It looks like is it ES offering us lower prices? What are we doing? Grand up, hit the low of that, right down in hard. Okay. Nasdaq is pushing up to the upside so crazy. Sorry. You're gonna risk that same amount of money that we just made. It's like 70, $80. And it's why because the volatility in the Nasdaq is much more than the ES. So yes, okay. All right. We're gonna get off the lower time frame. So let's scale back. Let's take a look at the higher time frame. Last 5 seconds left from the 5 minute candle. We're at the 50% retracement of the new day opening gap. We retraced to that 50% level of that wicks high to low. We just put a small piece of a wick above the 50% level of the new day opening gap. Hmm, 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 hmm. Trying to get a very fast and quick visual on what could just be obviously take a short here and put my stop loss down. Sometimes it's just like that, right? Hmm. Small imbalance, up, down, up, closed here, went above. Now we're in here, press to the upside, low of here, drop down, evened it out. I I really believe in this 50% retrace. I just can't get in. I just can't get in properly. I'm a little nervous about trying to get in. So that's going to uh like second guess my entries just a little bit, and then it comes back against me. But we're at that 50% level on the day, and I've convinced myself that that's what we're going to see. But now we're watching the ES out of one corner of our eye to see whether or not we violate this down close candle and move to the downside on the 1 minute. And we have. So now my expectation is just how the NASDAQ sort of pushed to the uh no, it just turned on me. Just turned on me. Because it knows everybody wants this. Everybody wants this. This is the spot. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants it, but everybody can't have it. Everybody wants it, right? Of course, everybody wants it. Of course, everybody wants it. I'm looking at this imbalance and I'm pulling this imbalance forward on the 15-second chart. This one. Of course, it won't even let me select it now because it wants me to be slow to the party. And I'm pulling this imbalance forward, and we just traded back into it one more time. Then we dropped out of it. We moved back up, consequent encroachment. Now we move right back into it again, move to the high of it, opened higher, dropped down. And you've seen me do this trade, like trades like this on a regular basis. I struggle. I'm not wrong about my position or wrong about the trade. Well, I've seen plenty of those too. But it's just to get into the trade, the one that you really want to get in, it's such a back and forth before it finally decides, okay, yes, we're going to move down below this level and stay below this level. Just this back and forth, especially at these high end ranges between two 15-minute candles. Because I mean, I think at least there's a certain number of 5-minute candles, obviously. There's only three of them in a 15-minute candle that have to transpire before we really start seeing price break to the downside. And the ES is trading sideways and flat right now. The ES is trading sideways and flat. Come on. Come on. Calm down, dude. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. There's nothing that you could do to make price go in any other direction. So what are you gonna do? We're gonna delete this, and then we're just gonna watch it as it falls. We just gotta watch it as it falls. That's all you can do is watch. That's all we can do. Whoa. 15 seconds left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's not fall. That didn't fall, did it? No, we're up above the 50% level. We just pushed up above one last time. I'm sorry, we just pushed up above it again. I said one last time. Okay. I can deal with that. I have to. I just have to deal with it. Hmm. All right. Ooh. That's it. I mean, what? What else? What else can you say? I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Okay. Push really hard. Push really, really hard. And I thought that we were going to come into that 50% level and reject. We traded. I mean, look at the sign that it gave us. I mean, look at the sort of a signal that I was watching. A small wick pass here. This looks like we failed. We touched that level. We dropped back in. This wick only comes up to 50% of that prior wick as we go right above that 50% level. And then this wick begins to fall away from that considerably. Nice little move away from it. So, yeah, just be careful with your strategies because sometimes that's how your strategies play out. Sometimes it's just how strategies play out. Mm. Night time. Too early in the 2 minute. 2 minute early in the five. In the five. Okay. Gave up $600. And trade the P&L. Don't trade the P&L. Don't trade the P&L. Watch. Price is trading sideways. Some type of a weird consolidation here, high in this range up here. 1 minute, 13 seconds left in the 15. Is that a real failure or is this a real failure or is this consolidation over a gap before we move higher? Hard to say. 45 seconds left in the five. Nothing. No retracement to that area. Back down to that 50% range. 50% of the new day opening gap range. 27 seconds left in the 5 minute candle. I failed to wait for the new 5 minute candle to open. 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. I failed for the new 5 minute candle to open. I was supposed to wait for this candle to open. Watching for a very quick rejection after the move down. Move my stop loss to break even. I'm not worried about a quick rejection anymore. I'm just looking to see how much I can keep from this trade. It's coming back against us. We dropped pretty low on the ES, a little bit more continuation. We're gonna sit and see how long we can hold this trade. Don't really want to be stopped out of it, although I don't also do not want to choke it. That's a 30% retracement off the high. Very normal thing to see. Very normal to see a 30% retracement off the high. 2 minutes, I mean 2 seconds left in the 1 minute. If this is a 15-minute fair value gap, then if this is a 15-minute fair value gap, then we would need to be concerned once we got below 878. That would be the wick, that would be the high of the imbalance of 15-minute gap. So roughly this 70% area. I want to fiddle with my stop loss, but I want to give it space so that it could bounce up to like that 87% level. I don't want any drawdown, so being stopped out at that spot would not be a problem. Because this is a 50% retracement of the new day opening gap. Um, Seeing more of a follow through to the other side or to the opposite direction would be ideal. I mean, would be the thing that I would have my fingers crossed for, especially with this little gap area here, just the way that we're, approaching it and then tapping it and then dropping away from it. Seeing a continuation of that type of price action would be really, really great because that would say that so much of this would be a balanced price range, and then there would be no need for us to um, retrade that area. Okay, I don't have much to say. But I don't have a prediction. I don't have a prediction or I have much to say, um, because uh, there's not much and I like how there's this sort of a down close price action. I like how we're lower than that. I don't like how we're not lower than this, right? I'm looking on the higher time frames to see whether or not there's much more um of a sort of a confluential price action that would send us to a better level. 19909, 19910. I like this. I want to see, I really want to see us reject this 909, 910 area. I don't want to see us go above that. I don't like how we're creating these up close candles and then dropping down to these spots and then moving back up. Because what I'm thinking of in my mind is what? Um not should I take a nap, right? Not should I just completely disregard and stop managing the trade. But um what should I be mindful of or be careful of? I've already got myself a protective stop loss. All right, we're at 909, 908. This I don't really want to see price go beyond this. I don't want to see price go beyond this. Popping back up to this area is great. I do not want to see us go beyond this. Going to the lower time frame so I can see if there's anything here that looks like an opportunity to get short here. We violated that area that I didn't want to see us go past. And I didn't want to choke my stop. I didn't want to choke my trade. I didn't want to choke my stop losses. Turned over just a little bit, moved back down, which is normally what it does sometimes. We recapitalizes before it moves higher. We need to see this thing move past this point. We've come here already. Move my stop loss down a little bit. Just wanted to get like $100 off of this if it comes back. We do not want to see us back up above these levels. Nope, nope, don't want to see us up here. Minute 55 left in the 5-minute candle. We dropped right back down after we came up here to this level. Put this little wick up here. Oh man. All right, no negative thoughts, right? No negative thoughts. No negative thoughts. We're going to put that stop loss right where we started at. No negative thoughts. We're not going to think negatively about this. We're going to try to approach this in the most professional manner that we can. And we're going to give this 5-minute candle an opportunity to do what it needs to do. Um, yes, that $300 that we're looking at looks like something that we just need to reach out and grab right now and lock in. However, we're trying to let the strategy work. We want the strategy to work. Um, and we have a protective stop loss, so there's nothing to worry about. The only thing that we would have to deal with is intense sensations of greed. Intense sensations of greed, right? And those intense sensations of greed say we just hit that 50% mark on the new day opening gap. And we're saying to ourselves, how do we stay in this trade for the rest of the day? How do we not just jump out and panic anytime it fluctuates back to the upside, right? And we could see fluctuations back to the upside in this type of a trade. Why? Because of stuff like this that's untraded to up here. And we could see price run all the way back up there just to get that after this first initial move down. 8 seconds left in the 15-minute, right? 8 seconds left in this 15-minute candle. This 15-minute candle has sat up right up here in this entire range. Now here's a new one, new 15. And the new 15 is going to tell us whether or not we're going to continue higher or whether or not we're going to go lower. But also, we have to contend with that volatility right off of the 11 a.m. price action. 11 a.m. price action, we're in just prior to that. We cannot move our stop loss and put ourselves at risk of loss. However, we're in the prime spot for price to run to just prior to getting down. It comes and it takes us out, and it's okay, right? That's okay. That's okay. But you're saying to yourself, greed says yourself, but Grady, look how much we left on the table. That's all of that's fine. What we need to do now is we need to watch as we trade into this imbalance up here. We need to watch price very closely to see how we perform. We're taking out this prior high, trade into this imbalance on this upper end. We press extremely high. We're into this small 15 second imbalance way up here. Press into the upper end of that level. Drop back in. Pressed up for a second. We enter short. Put a bit of a stop loss right up here, right where we were. It's still a risky position. We're still at risk. We're still at risk. But what we wanted to see is we wanted to see that new 15-minute candle come up here and we hit this small lower time frame imbalance. We're still at risk. Yes, just made a new high. Still at risk. We have a stop loss that's going to do its job. We have a stop loss that's going to do its job. Turned over just a little bit. Give us just a glimpse and glimmer of the possibility. We're just above that 50% level of the day. So we still kind of have that thought process in mind that on the day we just came back up in that gap with these massive 15-minute candles with all of that volume. And now we're sourcing liquidity again above that 50% gap of the day. Right. So we're still sourcing liquidity. It's pulling back just a little bit, but do not fall for it. Do not relax. Do not think, oh yeah, it's done. Right? We have a protective stop loss in place. We have not moved it. We're looking at the lower time frame 15-second chart because we're watching ourselves mentally on the higher time frame. Okay. It's not really giving us much um consideration. It's not giving us anything really to consider to make us think that we're going to really profit on this trade. Everything is really pumping higher. It's pumping higher. It's pumping higher. We have a slight slide to the downside here on the 15-second. Doesn't really mean much. All it means is that price is just looking for something below here to help it propel higher. So we're just being careful. We're just being careful and watchful. That close above was mm, very energetic. Very energetic pump and close above. Mm. All right. It looks like it's gonna take us out, but it's okay. 54 seconds left in this 5-minute candle. Mm. Down below this level. This is hard, guys. This is hard. This is really, really hard. Finally drop back in. Come on up. See, this is what I'm looking for. But my entry signal is that last little, oh, we're gonna fail. Oh, we're gonna fail. And then I try to get immediately takes me out of the trade. I am still very, 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 very adamant about that 50% retracement. And my desire to have it. Look at this. You see the small imbalance on the 5-second chart? Get down, get down, get down, get down. This is what I was looking at. This. Get down, get down. Stay below that. Stay below it. Stay below it. It won't let me have it. I want it too bad. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Okay, that's it for today. That's it for today. I tried to get it. It wouldn't let me get it. I want it too bad. It's wanted too bad. It's one of those things where, obvious that I want it too bad. All right. Thank you guys for stopping by and trading with me today. I am Grady on the charts. Please like and subscribe. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, offer your support, offer your comments, offer your um, coaching, trading instructions, or advice. I'll be glad to hear from you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Talk to you later.